I'm a civil engineer. I graduated at the Technical University of Berlin, as you did, and I have different jobs in public and private organization, more and more from traffic and town planning to organizing processes in development.
So today we're going to talk about, or you are going to explain us your understanding about good governance and why good governance is really important for countries, especially for Honduras.
Yeah, you see, I think it's not really especially for Honduras because situation all over the world is nearly the same, different levels. But the problem of the person to communicate with each other and to make good decisions is a problem all over the world. And as you know, I'm really interesting because of my work up to now in this good governance. You stopped it? I see you.
No, no, you can continue.
Yeah? Okay. Um, I think there are two very different aspects if you are working in planning, especially also in land use planning, um, because you have ideas, you create ideas, and you are using the knowledge of your own person and the knowledge of the other ones. And to include the knowledge of the other ones is one of the main aspects of good governance. Um, you asked me about the role of the state in this process. Let
Yes.
me explain my position. There's we have two different poles in our society. We have on the one hand the individual, the single person or the small group, and we have on the other side the society at all. And we have to balance between the freedom of the single person and the public interest. For example, one basic public interest must be to ensure the freedom of each person. And this is alone a limit for the freedom of a single person, because your own freedom ends when you start to limit the freedom of the other ones. So if we see these two aspects, then we have to organize our regulations. We need regulation because without regulation we can't handle the society. But the intensity of the regulation is the center of all political debates. And that is maybe a little bit different in the different states, in the different regions. It depends on a lot on the economic power. It depends on the education. It depends on the different feeling of the people. But all over the world, it's the same. As higher the density of regulation is, as smaller is the freedom of the individual to handle in own responsibility, because that is the other side. The own responsibility includes the risk of error. Therefore, it is a reasonable argumentation that we should limit the freedom of individual to avoid risk you cannot calculate. I think that's very important because um, this is a main topic in land use planning too. You limit the freedom of a single person to save this person for risks what he can do. But there is more. As state, as the elected authority of society, limits the freedom of an individual as more the responsibility of those actors in the state. And you, indeed, you are one of the actors. Um, increase um, um, the, the necessity to evaluate whether the benefit of the regulation justify the impact in freedom. This is this balance is a main topic of good governance.
You mentioned that the German Federal Building Code has a very specific citation.
Yes, in our federal code there is a sentence apart which concludes all these thoughts, and I like to report it. In preparing land use plans, public and private interests are to be duly weighed. This is very important. That means also that between the different public interests you have to evaluate, because public interests are different. For example, to keep nature and to provide mobility by building streets. It's every day, every single question is a challenge for every decision which is to be made by the local and state authorities.
So, how to manage this challenge?
First of all is information. Information is the key topic of all good governance. It is the basic duty of the authority to collect information about the situation all over. And there's danger. In your daily work, if you have an own idea, in your daily work, you will realize that you yourself are more open for information which support your idea. And you are a little subject of your own behavior to suppress information which disrupt your ideas. Therefore, it is really necessary to collect information not by heart, but by brain, that means systematically. Not only looking for support of your own idea. And if you do not really follow this line, you will have later in the process those, from your point of view, disturbing information on the table, and then you are not prepared to handle with them. So, good governance means to put all information on the table.
So, about how to handle all this countless information, how you do it?
You need an information system. And by the way, when I start studying and this civil engineering and town planning, we have very few, very low, very bad um, uh, digital information systems. We only do it by hand. But nowadays, and in my first job, I can't use this. You have you have the chance really to put all different information in an information system, and you make a catalog which part of the society is touched by this information, on which place this information will take place, and so on and so on. And if you have a proper information system, then you are able, as I said before, you have ideas and you have knowledge. And this knowledge is the best basic for good governance, because then you understand what people are meaning if they are, for example, against some ideas you have.